Okay, so welcome to my little studio here in my house, and what I've done for you guys, because I can't be in class today, is I'm going to show you guys a little exercise that I want you to do. Now, it's not dissimilar to the process that we're using for the Jan Tischold offset poster, except we're going to be looking at iMagazine. So I have one copy of iMagazine here. I have left a decent selection of the newer copies of iMagazine that I have in the wooden press in the graphics room. So if you go in there, take a magazine each. Will you look after them for me? When you're finished with them, if you put them back in the cupboard and put them away safely for me so they don't get lost. But I have this version here, and what I want you to do is take a copy of iMagazine, and you should be fairly familiar with them now. And I want you to sift through it and see, can you find some spreads that you like. So I've already kind of flicked through this, and there's quite a lot of adverts usually at the start. Quite like this spread here, but I've noticed a sort of a style that I seems to go with. So this, for example, is an article. It's an interview with a man called John McConnell, and they're looking at his work. So they seem to have this sort of intro page, which is, you know, a nice big image. Then they have the title here, and it's sort of, this is like a pull quote that I asked you to do. Now, I did ask you to do one double page spread. Now, I think if you did something like this, you would need to go on and do a second double page spread. So let's say something like this, where you've got your, we talked about grids, remember, and columns. So we have our 1, 2, 3 column grid, and then our nice big image on the side here. So I thought that was quite nice. I know it's 2 double page spreads, but it leads nicely here to here. Then I picked out, let me mark that again. Then I picked out another spread down here, which was actually not dissimilar. This one is slightly different insofar as what they've done is they have, I guess it's a 3 column spread if you look, like 1, 2, 3, but they have this type really big spanning 2 columns. And then they've subdivided this section down here into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, it's 2, 2, 2, like that. And then they have one big image here, and then they sort of go on to discuss some of the work here, and they've gone with the same idea, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've subdivided it up. So I thought that was interesting as well. Let me mark that back again. And then, so I want you guys to do the same. Maybe use post-its or little bits of paper and mark the spreads that you find interesting. Then I thought this was quite nice. It's a little bit different. This has, here's the title, The Shape of a Pocket. Here's like a little pull quote. They've gone again with a 3 column grid, 1, 2, 3, and then this page 1, 2, 3. But there's a lot of lovely imagery. And remember, I talked about with the principles of design, this idea of repetition and balance. So it's this lovely kind of repetition going on here, but there's enough, you know, there's say 2 images here, 2 images there, 3 here, 3 here. There's just enough type here to balance this type. So the whole thing is balanced quite nicely. There's this little sort of, there's like the footnotes relating to each of these. You know, it's not too kind of cramped here. They could have put it down there, but I actually think it works nicely up there. So I also thought those spreads were nice. So what I want you to do is, let's go with this double page spread for now. Okay, so here's some of my tools. I cannot find my ruler anywhere, so I'm using a box as a ruler. So sometimes we have to improvise. So what I want you to do in your notebook, now I'm just using 5 blank sheets of just regular A4 paper here, but I want you guys to work in your notebook for this. So in your notebook, I want you to sketch out the grid and the sort of layout of this. Okay, so let's go with, I have this kind of pencil here. You don't need, this doesn't need to be proportional, you know, we just kind of get the sizes as best as we can. Okay, so the pages are narrower than they are wide, or narrower than they are high, so let's go with something. I'm just sort of guessing here, but we'll be okay. Let's see. These, I'm not looking for perfection here, I'm just looking for quick sketches. So, you know, we don't need, where's roughly halfway, something like that. Yeah, I'm not looking for it to be in the slightest bit perfect. Okay, something like that. Okay, that's not bad. Actually, that could be a little bit wider, but it's okay. So what we have is a 3-column grid on this document. So I'll just very lightly sort of mark it like that. I don't know if you guys can see that there. And then actually it's subdivided. It's not quite in thirds this way. It's 1, 2, 3. It's kind of in fifths actually. Roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Again, look, this is not exactly perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys could use a ruler and get it a little bit neater. So I wonder, can you guys sort of see that there? I've just marked out this grid. I'll go over it quickly with a pen. Let's see, does that one? That's not bad. Okay. I'm not going to go over the lines on the inside because I want those to be kind of quite faint. Again, what we're doing is we're looking at iMagazine. We're looking at things within the world of graphic design. In this case, it's iMagazine that work. And we're breaking it apart and we're going to use something that works for our own use. And that's one way of learning about graphic design. So what we have is 1, 2, 3 images there. Again, I'm not being too perfect. So we have an image there. 2. Now we did this kind of a bigger version of this earlier on. And look, we've 2 images here. These are just smaller little kind of quick sketches. Thumbnails, or some people call them like little kind of comps, you know, you're just doing up some little compositions. And this takes up, now there is kind of, I'm just going to do a squiggle there. That's, you know, it says I-8111 and it's page 77. So we have to leave enough room for that information. Oh, I've got 3 here. Okay, it doesn't need to be pre, it's just an idea. What have we got? 2 there. 1, 2, 3, 2, yeah. We've got that. So here's our little sketch. We have some sort of title there. I'll just leave that for the time being. We have body text here. Not sure how much body text. Now I said to you guys to put between 500 and 800 words in, and I know your essays were in and around that amount. So, you know, if let's say you decided to go with this layout, you might need to do another page to kind of make the 500 words work. But that's magazine design for you, okay? So we know it's News Gothic 9/11. So then we have, this one is subdivided in half. Okay, and we have our little footnote information here. And it doesn't go all the way down. Kind of something like that. Now, we did actually still have to figure out what this was. Now, it looks to me like it's, this is 9/11, this is probably News Gothic 7/9, I'm guessing, and it's bold. So we'll say it's News Gothic 7/9. 7/9, and it's News Gothic bold. Okay, so if you guys can sort of make that sketch out. Okay, so this title is The Shape of a Pocket. And then it has, in 1960s France, Henry Cohn's inventive photographic covers made Gallimard's IDA series required reading. And then the author by Rick Poynor. So you need to come up with a title for yours. So you could either have picked Jan Tischold, or you could have picked an offset designer. So let's say you pick Tischold, and let's say your title is going to be The Tischold Effect or something like that. I just made that up. It's not very good, but let's go with it for now. And this is where you need to make a decision. So let's say the Tischold Effect, you're looking at it and you're thinking it's not really going to fit in to that space. Or will it? You know, we could stack it. T-S-C-H-I-C-H-O-L-D. Okay, the Tischold Effect. And then So this is, I don't know what size that is, but let's put in, you see what's going to happen is you're going to sketch this out and you're going to put your own information in here. When it comes to you then transferring this onto the computer in InDesign, it's going to change. Okay, you're going to realize that, actually, I'm going to take that image out of there because it doesn't work. I'm going to put more text in there. Instead of, instead of two smaller images here, I'm going to put one big image there because this doesn't work for the image that I have. So this is just a plan, okay? So that's pretty much it. And then you need to start looking at, okay, so now I have an idea of what I want to do. I need to now look and see, I need images to go in here. So let's say you're looking at Jan Tischo's poster designs. Do you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Do you have 10 poster designs that could go in there? I know there's one Jan Tischo poster, something sort of like that. There's another one, isn't there, with a train, where it's these, something like that. Oh, there's a girl here, isn't there, with a pointed hat on. And so on. Okay, so you might say, okay, I'll put those in around here. And then you might realize, actually, something, I do need this to be one big image. There's a Jan Tischo piece that I want to go in here. I don't know, whatever that is. And I want that to go in there. So I'm going to actually change this design around a little bit. So from looking at this and analysing it and seeing what works and adapting it to suit the information that you have, you're going to come up with your own design. So what I need you to do is pick out, you'd want to have, I think you should do this with at least 5 spreads. And what I want you to do then is, so let's say you're at this stage, okay, and you have all of your little, you might pick out, I don't know, let's say you decide actually that's going to be one big image because there's this lovely image of Jan Tischo's that I want to put in there, or an illustration of your own, let's say, that you're going to put in. That would be fine. You could put that in there. Some other poster in here. Say book cover there. I know the penguin book covers he did. Okay, that's supposed to be a penguin. You could put, say, one of them in there. So what I want you to do at this stage then is, with your, most of you guys have camera phones, is to photograph a nice aerial shot. If I don't want any shadows in it and things like that, bring it over to the window where you have sunlight. If you have to, take a photo of this. Either scan your sketch in or take a photo of it. And in your blog, you put this image up on your blog and you talk about it. You put this image up, this is your sketch, and do that with at least, I think, 5 spreads, I think would be good. Alternatively, if you're not putting the information in a blog, next to this sketch in your notebook, when you photograph this, print it out in colour, which we've free colour printing in the college, so there's no excuse. It doesn't need to be huge, just a small print out of it, and stick it next to your spread. Because what I want to see is that you've analysed this, you've done a sketch based on it, and when you have 5 of these, what you're going to do is pick out 1 or maybe 2 that you like. You're going to transfer it onto the screen. As I said, it's going to alter, it's going to change as you go, as you start to develop your idea on screen. And I'm going to see a pattern. I'm going to see this, I'm going to see this, I'm going to see your trial versions that you do on screen, and then a finished design, which may not look like this at all when you're finished, but that's fine. That's you as a designer making those decisions as you go along. So if you can do, this is what I wanted to do with you guys today. I've recorded this so that you could get on with it. I will see you guys in class. I think I have you on Tuesday. Tuesday's class, we're looking at the offset poster. So I'd like to go back to looking at this. But I have you guys again on Thursday, I think it is, Thursday morning. I'd like to see these ideas done, 5 of these by Thursday morning. Okay, so that's pretty much it.